Storm Tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Matt Elwell.
Or Chet Lehman. Montana lawmakers check the box for all of the above for new marijuana legalization laws. Coming up, learn what that means for the measure voters overwhelmingly approved in November.
Just more fun when we start with the weather stinger. Meantime, the Bozeman City Commission has a new member also ahead this morning. Learn what made that decision an easy one.
Come on, Matt. Now it's your turn.
Ta-da!
There we go.
Hey, good morning to everybody.
I'll do the stinger music. No, I won't do
No,
it. Go
please
ahead. Just go
don't.
right ahead.
All right, hey, let's jump right into the temperatures. We've already introduced that weather's next. Temperature right now sitting into the 20s, 22 in Butte, 26 in Belgrade. It is going to be a beautiful afternoon. That's why we start out with that weather stinger out there. Temperatures expected to be into the upper 50s to low 60s. A little breezy for the afternoon, but really not a bad setup for the afternoon today. We'll talk more about what you can expect. The unexpected, obviously. That's, of course, coming up in just a few minutes.
Never a dull moment with you around Elwell or you, Layman.
Yeah.
All right, well, topping your 6:30 half hour, the Montana House is advancing 3 bills that provide very different visions for how to implement recreational marijuana in the state.
Yeah, that's happening after legislative leadership asked members to keep all 3 alive. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian takes a closer look at what it all means.
On Tuesday afternoon, House Bills 701, 670, and 707 all came up for debate on the House floor, and it now appears all 3 are going to keep moving forward. During a party caucus before the floor action, leaders of the majority Republicans said it was best to keep all options open while they consider possible amendments and keep taking input.
This is far from over, so the Senate's going to have a couple weeks, and then most likely we're going to be in a conference committee with this as well. So don't look at these as final products. So these are vessels and ideas moving, and we need to keep them moving so that everyone's idea has a seat at the table.
HB 701, sponsored by Representative Mike Hopkins, a Republican from Missoula, passed 59 to 41. It would require counties to opt in to allowing marijuana businesses and send some of the tax revenue to Governor Greg Gianforte's Heart Fund account for mental health and substance abuse treatment. Lawmakers considered 30 amendments to the bill and adopted 16, including removing a proposal to allow a local option tax on marijuana sales.
The job that was set before us was delivering to the people of Montana controlled, safe, a responsible system for the implementation of adult use marijuana here in the state of Montana, and I think that by the time that we walk out of these doors, we will have fulfilled that requirement.
670 and 707 both passed 67 to 33 on near party line votes. 670 from Republican Representative Derek Skees of Kalispell would use tax revenue to set up a trust fund to address negative impacts of marijuana use.
Montana makes money from the use of marijuana, and we use it specifically to deal with the hundreds of problems we're going to get.
707 from Representative Brad Cheetah, a Missoula Republican, would set up a 3-tiered system with growers selling to wholesalers who would sell to dispensaries.
It would cut down a lot of work for the Department of Revenue. They'd have fewer businesses that they would have to inspect, and we would hopefully tamp down the illicit market a little bit.
Democrats say they voted against all 3 bills because they made too many changes to Initiative 190, the legalization measure voters approved last year.
And the truth is that we could put the entire initiative in the trash can if we wanted to, but I just don't think we should.
The 3 bills will go before the House Appropriations Committee on Wednesday, and then if approved, to a final vote on the House floor on Thursday. After that, it will be up to the Senate to make the next move. In Helena, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Again, those bills all need to pass through the House by Thursday in order to stay alive.
Well, last month, Bozeman City Commissioner Mike Wallner resigned, leaving an empty seat.
MTN's Gabby Crevitt tells us the city has a new commissioner as of this morning.
I, Christopher Coburn, do solemnly affirm.
The Bozeman City Commission voted unanimously in support of appointing Christopher Coburn to fill the vacant commission seat. Coburn's application for the empty seat was the only one reviewed and discussed during Tuesday night's commission meeting, after the only other applicant, former Bozeman legislator and Montana State University professor Tom Woods, withdrew his application during the general public comment.
Perhaps the best course of action for this community is for me to step aside and have a person of color who's also a member of the LGBTQ community to lead us out of these dark times.
This is the second time Coburn applies for a vacated commission seat. Last fall, after former Mayor Chris Mell resigned, Coburn received the majority of public comment. However, it was Commissioner Jennifer Magic who was appointed to fill the empty seat.
I'm a young professional. I rent my apartment, and I'm building my life here and am confronted with the challenges that come along with that. I have a lot in common with most of Bozeman, and I feel that by making room for people like me on the commission, our city will be stronger.
On Tuesday night, commissioners and the public shared their support for the newly appointed commissioner.
He is going to bring a perspective that I think is truly missing on this commission, and I think that really reflects a part of this community that needs a voice.
Coburn is a community health professional and a member of the Gallatin City County Board of Health. He begins his new role as commissioner immediately. Reporting in Bozeman, Gabby Crevitt, MTN News.
6:35 now. Montana has worked hard to decrease the number of children in care, and since 2018, the state has reduced the number of youth in care from 4,000 to the current of just over 3,300.
Officials say that is still not enough as they gather on the north lawn of the Capitol building for Pinwheels for Prevention planting event, which raises awareness of child abuse prevention. MTN's Alexia Guayu was at the event.
Over 1,000 bright blue pinwheels grace the Capitol North lawn, where they will remain for the month of April. These pinwheels represent a national public awareness campaign built around the symbol of the pinwheel.
To be clear, every child deserves a chance to be raised in a healthy, safe, and nurturing environment. And that's what these pinwheels symbolize. All of us here today want this for our children, for Montana's children.
While they mean happy and uplifting symbols of childhood, Pinwheels for Prevention is also built around raising awareness of and preventing child abuse and neglect, detailing the message that every child deserves a chance to be raised in a healthy environment.
It's our commitment to make sure that we do everything possible to help our children and our families get a great start. Our children are our biggest asset as a state, and we need to do everything possible to make sure that they have a strong foundation and that families can thrive in this state.
Montanans are encouraged to wear blue throughout the month of April and share their pictures on Facebook using hashtag #GoBlue to show support of families and the prevention of child abuse and neglect.
It takes a partnership. It's not just an agency or the state. It's really about the community. It's about the partners in the community and everybody working to improve the system and to move those services upstream so that we can really keep families together and prevent abuse and neglect.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Montana also donated $10,000 towards Straightening Families Month, making this their 7th contribution to the cause. In Helena, Alexia Guayo, MTN News.
Now, Lexi tells us in 2020, nearly 33,000 calls were made to the state's child abuse hotline. Of those, nearly 11,000 required an investigation.
In more legislative news, the Republicans at the Montana Senate on Tuesday advanced a controversial bill designed to encourage the state's largest electric utility buy a bigger share of the Colstrip power plants. Opponents called it a blank check for Northwestern Energy, allowing them to pass on the cost of Colstrip even if cheaper alternatives are available. Supporters say consumers need the Colstrip power and that the bill will help prolong the life of those plants.
All right, well, coming up here, how are you feeling about the pandemic? What most Americans are saying about COVID-19? That's coming up after the break.
But first, here's Tony DeCopel with a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, Dr. Anthony Fauci joins us. He'll discuss why coronavirus cases are increasing, even though nearly a quarter of U.S. adults are fully vaccinated. Also, we'll look at the barriers that Asian Americans face in the workplace and the meaning of the phrase bamboo ceiling. Also, a new book focuses on the power women can have when they work together. The author, CNN anchor Brooke Baldwin, tells us why it's important for women to lean on one another. All that and more coming up at 7.